I know that it's for younger people, teenagers especially, the activity of the body, being physically involved is very important. But the fact that they're thinking deeply about how they should be involved is also very important. And many people we see in the protests, they are reacting to things, and then they're in the moment, and they want to be present and physical, but the processes that are going on here intellectually, and which leads to the establishment of the moral concern or the moral conviction, that's not as mature, and that's being pulled and pushed. Whereas the ones who are at home observing, they're preparing themselves for the time when their voice of leadership will become a necessity. So just because you're not physically present in the protests doesn't mean that you're not involved in what's going on. You're observing carefully, you're learning from it, and you are also participating because your moral concern is involved. Your moral interest is involved, and you see that there's something that needs to be addressed, and you're wanting to understand how you figure into that. Allah will bless that, and He's saving you and preserving you for the time that will come where, when you come to that mature understanding, you will have your opportunity to make a contribution. And this is what I'm not telling your daughter something that I don't tell my own children. This is the same counsel that I give them. It is not from our tradition. The Muslim people of America, following from the time of the Temple of Islam and the Nation of Islam and Imam W.D. Muhammad, it's not our way to demonstrate. This is not our way. This doesn't mean that we don't have the same concern, but it's not our way. It's not our position and I'm not to say that some of us won't do it, but we're on a different side of this. Prophet Muhammad, the prayers and the peace be on him, there is a verse in the Quran, and it is a verse of protest. Many verses are verses of protest, but one in particular, the Quran says of him, وَأَنْتَ هِلٌ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ, and you are a citizen in the city. You are a citizen in the city. In other words, you are deserving of respect based upon many factors. And so this was given support to Prophet Muhammad protesting disrespect for him because he said that there's nothing to be worshipped except the one Lord Creator. So he was being persecuted because of that. And so this verse establishes that this persecution of him was unjust, and therefore it is his right to protest. But this protest does not mean that it has to be expressed as demonstration in the way that we see it now. That's not the only way to protest. You can protest in your preparation. You can protest for a future time of contribution. And that's what I would encourage in our young people. Understand that your life and the opportunities for you to grow into responsibility are at hand. And so rather than being a force of reaction, you will be a force of anticipation, and you will be shouldering the responsibility of society, and you will become a trusted entity in this country. And that's what I would encourage our young people to think on.